Well, all the games played today, all the broadcasts are certainly in honor of this man, Lee Hull, who passed away earlier this week, a larger-than-life character in the softball community. He was a broadcaster, but really he was a coach, a life member, a friend. So we'll be chatting about Lee all throughout the afternoon. We paid homage to him in that first game of the day, that grand final rematch between Port Adelaide and West Torrens. So Lee, this one's for you, and thank you to everybody who sent in their messages of support to the whole family throughout the week. Lee, this one's for you.
He will certainly be missed, that's for sure.
Eric Bolnar here on the broadcast, joined by the CMAX Premier League's home run leader, their RBI leader, and top of the table, Port Adelaide Magpies, Jess Maslin, joining the broadcast. Jess, thanks. Is this your softball debut?
Yeah, full game softball, yeah. I was lucky enough to do an innings of baseball, so we'll see how this goes, and my voice is slowly dying.
Well, we're glad that you're here. It's an interesting contest between the Seacombe Tigers and the Sturt Falcons. A few new faces to the softball community in the lineup. We'll get through all of that a little bit later. Seacombe, actually your former club, Jess. Yeah. You were there for how many years?
Oh, I think 12, 10 or 12.
So you would have seen even some of these players or played with some of these players or seen some of them come through as well. I know things have looked a little bit different as well, and they're going against a perennial powerhouse in the Sturt Falcons.
Yeah, it's I can see like 3 or 4 names, and actually Becky and I go all the way back to when we played at Gawler together. So there's been a lot of changes, rebranding slightly, even with their old uniforms and stuff, but should be interesting. It's a solid team. Let's see how they come out.
Now, there's actually a little bit of a presentation happening before the game. Now, we've said this game's between the Seacombe Tigers and, of course, the Sturt Falcons, but now we got another team in blue walking out there. It's the Walkerville Cats, and that's because we're about to see, we won't say what it is quite yet. We'll wait for the actual unveiling, but there's a special presentation about to happen, and it involves an absolute club legend from Walkerville that is part of this as well. So that's why the Cats are here. I can see over to the left, we've got the great Linda Martin in attendance. Linda Martin, a pretty well-known name, you'd say here.
She's an amazingly well-known player here in South Australia. She's one of the legends of the game, and we'll wait a bit longer to sort of talk her up, but might be some reasoning behind that, but yeah, she's definitely one of the greats. You
see another one of the greats, Karen Dale, longtime teammate as well, who is directing some traffic in the show in front. Oh, look at that. We're getting some hot breaking press as well. We can commentate what's going on, and we're going to get a nice little explanation where you learn from Karen Dale. Going to come and join the broadcast at some point to explain what this presentation is all about.
Karen Dale, let's be honest, she's one hell of a player herself, but we'll see if we can I can't even lip read her at the moment.
Well, I mean, this is breaking news to the softball community. We're lucky. We got the unveiling of what this is before.
Yes.
But Karen Dale basically hyping up that woman, Linda Martin. She is a 2-time CAF Coral medalist. She's represented Australia at the World Championships. She's been part of a dynastic run of Walkerville, and I mean, I'm very lucky that I've come to this softball community, and I'm a bit of a historian. I like to learn about what goes on in the community, and you ask who should be on the Mount Rushmore of South Australian softball players, it's Linda Martin.
Yep, there's at least 2 or 3 names that pop straight into my brain, and Linda is one of them.
And she's now going to be forever enshrined. There's the debut of the newly named Shield for this very prestigious Premier League competition. It's the Linda Martin Shield from this day forward, and you can see the big smile on her face. So that is what all of these softball players are playing for. That's what you're playing for. You're a Linda Shield winner.
Yeah.
If you're going retroactively now.
I was going to say, if we go back, yes, I've held the old Linda Martin Shield.
But that is the new Shield that everybody will be fighting for, including your team, the Port Adelaide Magpies. But Linda Martin, one of the absolute legends of the game, and I'm sure it's a pretty cool moment for her. Even have Karen Dale.
I was going to say, you can see she's trying to hold back. I think she's trying to hold back a few tears there. She's enjoying all the moments.
And this was coordinated all behind the scenes by, a large in part thanks to Anthony Weatherston. A bit of a health issue that he had earlier in the afternoon. We're hoping he's okay. All good signs so far. But thanks for Weathers, especially for all the work he done around this place. And the last week at the Masters games, but he's been doing a lot of things behind the scenes for this is the 80th season of the Premier League.
I think
here in South Australia, and that is one of the greatest of all time.
Yes, that is definitely one of the greatest of all time. One hell of a cat and one hell of a player as well. Like, okay, I didn't grow up playing in the Adelaide League, but she was definitely a name I knew of.
Linda Martin represented Australia as well, so the official unveiling of the Linda Martin Shield. That's why the Cats are here, and I think we're going to get a pretty cool group photo before the game as well.
Maybe, yeah. But no, she's definitely one of the greats, and there's been a few renaming of awards this year, but I bet you Linda's going to love every moment of having that A grade. She'll be named after her now.
Well, the first person that gets to hold the Linda Martin Shield is Linda Martin.
It's only right.
A very cool presentation to start the game. Now we'll pause for a quick moment of silence as well. I believe this is for our dear friend Lee Hull.
He was one of the greats, and there's going to be a good lineup of some softball greats up in the great grandstand in the sky, I guess.
Yeah, a lot of amazing tributes that have flown out on social media. The family has got in touch that said thank you. We've read all of them, and they're just sort of amazed by all the support that they've seen for their dad. So we'll take a quick moment of silence for Lee Hull. Well, we know Lee would have loved to be here on day one of the CMAX Premier League season. He's been known, especially in these broadcasts, for a tongue-in-cheek and eye-rolling joke, a couple quick catchphrases, and everything in between. He could predict, but usually bang on every time what was going to happen in the game. He had a few little pet peeves that he liked to see in the game. It was cool, especially in that first game, so many things that we talked about with Lee almost came to fruition. One of them was actually a moment involving you, Jess Maslin. There was a runner on third base, a 1-1 game. Bottom of the lineup we're still learning about at Port Adelaide. I'm sure you wouldn't have been surprised by anything. And we know that Lee would have been saying, you have to pass up Jess Maslin. You got to put her on first base because she can kill you with the bat. And then you went on and you hit a big 2-run home run, which I got to get a great call in there. I got to yell repeat of earlier message during the call. So a cool moment for me, moment for you. So we know that Lee is, like you said, with some legends, somewhere up there looking down on enjoying an afternoon of softball still in South Australia.
Hopefully with a Fritz sandwich and a good cup of tea, and we'll be enjoying every moment. You can see the, are they lavender?
Yeah, violet ribbons. Yeah, that's good. They're going to be wearing these all season long, Sturt Falcons, to try to raise awareness and raise some funds throughout the season in honor of their teammate Tash Straps. She's got Hodgkin's lymphoma. She's got a couple treatments to go, but a few pretty exciting moments still in her life. She had little Mia about a month ago as well, so I'm sure Mia and Josh and Tash are all tuning into the game as well. So I love that they're going to be wearing these pins all season long. A few knocks to the softball community so far. A lot going on preseason. But throughout it all, another great return here. Zolly Adams back in the circle. Hasn't been around for the last about year and a half. She was off at college, was there for a couple of seasons. So Zolly Adams back in the circle. Great to see her, and she's a tough one to face as a batter.
Yeah, she's a great pitcher. Good on her going over to college, and no, she did fairly decently over there. So I love facing Zali. She challenges you no matter what you're doing in that box.
And it'll be a welcome return for Sturt, who have really had a revolving door of really solid young pitchers that they just keep losing because they develop them and they go off to college somewhere. So they've got Zolly Adams coming back. She'll be in the circle this afternoon. And she's going against a Seacombe lineup. It's their second year back in the Premier League after they had a year where they didn't partake in the CMAX Premier League competition.
Sadly, yes.
So Sasha Mutzi leads things off for the Seacombe Tigers. Rosa Viguera, Becky Havis. We've got Regan Diaz. She'll be batting fourth, an import player I'm really looking forward to seeing. Arrowa Munro, Brienne Lint, another return import. Abby Mossman, Georgia Tompkinson, and Bianca Pash as the lineup. And this dribble down the lineup, it's called fair. So Sasha Mutzi leads things off with a base hit, and Seacombe are on the board early.
Yeah, that's what you do. That's what a good leadoff does. Just gets it in play, and Sasha's got some great wheels as well, so it'll be interesting to see how it goes.
Rosa Viguera will bat second in this lineup. Tigers, you can see that rebranded look. I like those new uniforms. The black on the back, the yellow on the front.
Yeah, it's nice and bright. And, obviously, haven't lost the color scheme, but definitely different to what I was lucky enough to wear.
Showing bunt, and it doesn't matter. They're going to do the job for him. That slips by Sarah Tonkin, and it's a runner in scoring position for the Tigers just like that.
I was like, move them across, just old school baseball, softball. Wow, which game am I playing right now?
You got two this weekend to deal with, Jess Maslin. Dual sport athlete over here.
I'm lucky I'm not playing tomorrow. I got a bye, so there's a lot of softballers that are now coming across to the baseball world. So it'll be interesting to see how they go.
Around the diamond, it's Sarah Tonkin catching, Zolly Adams pitching, but from third across to first, it's Abby Ware, Belinda White, Rachel Tonkin, and Riley Moore at first. Ball in the dirt again, and pouncing on the opportunity is Sasha Mutzi, and she is at third base where even just a deep fly ball could score the first run of the game.
A sac fly can do it here, and we got a pretty strong outfield. Sturt's outfield are never going to be weak. They're an incredibly good outfield, so it'll be interesting to see what happens here.
1-2 count, Rosa Viguera up to bat. Swing and a miss, so Zolly Adams gets her first strikeout. Bring the dangerous Becky Havis up to the plate.
Yes, this she can definitely swing a bat. Becky, very strong athlete. Lucky enough to have played against her for years and in some rep teams with her, and she can definitely punish that ball if it's left there.
So just how does the approach change? We'll get to this in a second. Pitch laid off here. When you're a batter walking up, there was a runner on first before when Rosa Viguera came up to bat and Sasha Mutzi. Now there's a runner on third. How does your approach as a batter change with a runner on first compared to a runner on third?
Well, I just hope that you stay calm in the box, and to be honest, every batter's slightly different. Some may be, okay, I've got to hit it to right side to move them across, or I've got to do my job as a player. Do you bunt? Do you have to hit something deep? So for instance, Becky might be looking here, look, solid contact, can score a run, so that might be what she's looking at. So, oh, nice pitch there. I need to bring it down a little bit, looks really good. Really just with, especially early in the season, it's just trying to get yourself back into the rhythm of being back on the diamond.
2 balls and a strike on Havis. Takes the pitch down low. Adams is playing around a little bit. She's got the movement on the ball. Hasn't quite found that strike zone consistently yet. We saw in the first game of the year, it took a little bit for each of the pitchers to really settle in, but when they did, especially Liz Angler, she was humming along. And now knocked over to short, but Belle White gets down and makes the play and holds the runner at third. You talk about Mount Rushmore of South Australian players. She's definitely on the list, and she makes a big play here on the CMAX replay.
Nice, solid. Belle was one hell of a shortstop, and if you can get it past her, you know it's a good hit. So she's got the cannon arm. I mean, what can't you say about Belle? She's someone I love playing against as well.
You see on the CMAX replay that little check that Belle White had just to hold the runner at third, and what was a runner at third and no outs all of a sudden has become a runner at third and 2 outs, and it makes the task a little bit easier, but the proposition is still difficult. This is Regan Diaz, 23 years old, making her Premier League debut.
I believe she was NCAA, wasn't she?
She was, yep. She went to Santa Clara University.
So, according to what we've been given, that's just off the Oregon border. So, she would have been playing at some really, really strong teams as well. So, by the looks of it, she can do a bit of everything.
Diaz trying to go the other way. Yeah, she can pitch, so you'll see her in the circle. She can hit. She's got 80-plus career hits over there, so she's a pitching coach as well. She's coaching the under-16 Tigers. I think there's another opportunity. You know, you have someone like this in the community that comes over, maybe wants to offer some pitching lessons. If you're a younger softballer, I mean, these are the kind of players that you have a great opportunity that come over every year to learn from.
Yeah, you can definitely see, we've got her in Centerfield today, is where she's playing for Seacombe, so it'll be interesting to see how she fields, and then from there, we might see her in the circle.
And she'll work with Era Munro, who will be starting in the circle, but at least it's another option that you could bring in later in the game, 1 time, 2 times through the lineup. Diaz,
nice.
It's a cannon to left field.
That's
it's back to the wall, and Diaz, a Premier League debut home run.
Welcome to Adelaide. First at bat, puts it yard. You can't have much better start than that.
Now the C-Max Premier League now has 2 home runs. And Regan Diaz just crushed that one to center left.
Not much you can do about those. They just carry and carry.
It's a little jet stream up there. I saw a home run to a similar spot earlier in the day.
Yeah, hers was a little bit bigger than mine. I'm not going to lie. That was absolutely crushed.
Yeah, that off the bat was a no-doubter.
Oh, here we go.
Now Munro blasts one to right field. It's going to get held up. Abby Kennedy there to make the play, and that will end the inning. But Regan Diaz has just made an impact early on to make it a 2-0 ball game, just like that. So all sorts of hoopla and fanfare starting from the beginning of this game, before the game. A great ceremony before. We didn't have the microphone on. We knew what was going on, but it's hard to do justice what's going on, so we'll bring in an expert into the commentary booth. Karen, welcome to the broadcast booth. What happened earlier in the or just before the game?
We made the announcement around the new Premier League Shield being renamed in honour of Linda Martin. As you know, a number of the awards have been renamed in honour of people who have made a significant impact on the sport in this state, and Linda being one of them.
So why? I mean, I'm not from here. I know when I first came over here 8-9 years ago, and I started to ask about the history, I said, who are some of the best players? Almost everybody in their top 2, 3, whatever that may be, order. Linda Martin was on the name. What made her such a good player, and someone that, I mean, being the championship shield, that's not a small honor.
No, it's not. When I was out there, I did a bit of a brief bio to the players out there, so I'll just cover that. Linda actually started playing A grade here in this competition at the age of 11.
What?
Yeah, 11 years old, and she spent 20-odd years playing in the league. She ended up playing in 16 premierships, 11 of which were winning premierships.
Is that a lot?
That is a lot. That is a lot. Some people are very fortunate to play and win one.
Yeah, that was the dynastic Cats run that is going to be hard to match at any point.
Yes, I think at that point it was winning 11 out of 13. And look, she did some of them as a playing coach as well, which was even more spectacular. She won the Kath Coral Medal twice in her career. State-wise, she played for a lot of years. I actually don't know how many years she played state for. But she was the captain of the under-18s team that won our very first nationals back in 1984. And she also won the batting award at national open level twice. So significant. Not to mention that, she was also in the Australian team for a number of years, went to a World Series in New Zealand.
Yeah, that is an incredible resume from Linda Martin as Sarah Tonkin comes up to bat. Era Munro is the pitcher in the circle. She'll deliver the first pitch. It is over the plate for a strike. So did Linda know that this was happening today?
I'm not sure. I'm really not sure at all. So, yeah, look, I think she's very honoured to have this award named after her.
Yeah, we could see the expression from the cameras. I mean, she was definitely taken aback in a positive way from it. But what do you think this would mean to her?
Oh, it would mean everything to her. She softball was everything to her, and she's still involved now.
This grounded over into the outfield, so Sarah Tonkin trying to respond to a big DS home run by getting aboard. So both teams with a leadoff hit off to the left field so far.
Yeah, great shot. Linda is also this year involved with the under-18 state team as an assistant coach.
Oh, so she's back coaching again.
She is, yeah, so very fortunate for all the girls in that team. So yes, look, she's very humbled by the whole experience and very grateful.
It's one of the cool things we've seen is now Tonkin making a dash for second. About this community is when you're done your playing days, you usually find a different role to keep contributing to the sport. We talked a lot about that at the beginning of the broadcast with Lee Hull, how his roles kept changing over the years, but always giving back to softball. What do you think it is about this community around Australia and in South Australia, I guess specifically, that keeps people wanting to give back in different ways?
The people I've spoken to in regards to what keeps you coming back, it is always the softball community, the softball family. That is what everyone says. It's a family here. We all come together to the same place. We see each other year in, year out, and it does feel like a real family.
Knocked out towards right field. That one goes foul. And you're right. It's you can go to battle against each other on the diamond, and we'll watch these games too. And then you can go over to the Red Star Cafe where you have a bunch of volunteers that have just spent a lot of hours over the last week trying to improve it for everybody so you can have a drink with everybody after.
That's right. And last week being the Masters Games here, and you have a lot of players from old playing with people they played against.
Oh, I was as a swing and a miss. I'll get some inside information. I was on I was on a buck show last night, and we stumbled across an establishment where there was a lot of WA Masters players that were having a very good time
I'm
last
not sure
night.
you should talk about that on air.
It was a good time.
I bet.
Kick them out. No, but you're right. It's like you can go out there, you can compete to the highest level, and you can come back and you can let loose and have a good time with everybody after.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, thank you very much for sharing the life of Linda Martin. It's a great initiative. I'm sure there's a few other tricks up the sleeves. I know Weathers was alluding to a couple of them for the 80th. Can you believe it's 80 years of this competition?
Fantastic.
And you've had a significant role to play in this story as well. So thank you very much for sharing the story.
No worries. Thank you very much.
We'll bring back on Jess Maslin to the call. She's making her broadcast debut as well. Well, another player on that Mount Rushmore is Belle White. You know that she's got that dangerous go-deep power as well, so Munro has to be very careful the way she pitches her, and she just missed that one, Belle White.
It's coming our way. I was going to say Belle is definitely a hitter that you cannot miss against, otherwise she's going to make you pay.
White, then Cameron, then Moore, and now a runner in scoring position. That's the vitality of trying to get one of those first two runners out from an opposition standpoint of Sturt. This is two bats in a row that can do damage, but White has this in the air and it drops. Oh. Foul. Ooh, that was very close. We're gonna get a look at the C-Max replay.
Gets another life, but I thought it actually hit the catcher in fair territory. Let's have a look. Unless she touched when she was out. Oh. Ooh. That should be a fair ball, shouldn't it?
It is a 1-2 count, so Belle White, though, lives to fight another day. I think the big story there is that it was a fly ball there. It's probably a catch that you'd like to have back and bring in to retire the out. And if there's one player I wouldn't want to give second life to in this competition,
no,
it might be this woman in the batter's box right now.
Oh, that landed right on the chalk. That literally landed on the chalk. Belle gets another life, and let's see if she can use it. It's Belle, she probably will.
Pitch goes up high. She's at least going to be patient and make Arrow Munro work. Yeah. Belle White makes you work for everything as a player.
Yes, I'm so glad that last year I didn't have to catch and call pitches to her, because she's one hell of a batter, and definitely makes you think about where to put the ball.
Ooh, Munro with a nice-looking pitch. It just is a little bit inside.
There's a little smoke from Aroha then. A little smoke of, oh, that was close.
You can see the intent there. Trying to give her something that's a bit difficult to hit.
This lineup does not ease up on you either, so.
Full count. And it's cranked to left field.
Oh.
Pash moving back, and it rattles against the wall. That second life for Bell White coming in handy. It's an RBI double, and it's a 2-1 game.
That's a nice, solid hit. We're seeing a lot. It's definitely turning out to be a bit of a hitters comp this year so far. But of course, it's only been one and a little bit games. But
well, did you see what? I'm not too sure what it ended up as, but did you see what happened on the backfield earlier today?
no.
It was a 1-1 draw between Glenelg and Walkerville. And Yo Grauer making her debut for
Yes.
Glenelg. There was only one hit in the entire game.
Oh my goodness.
In a 1-1 game.
That's insane. Yeah, it's going to be weird facing Yo this year, but it should be a bit of fun.
Yeah, a few of the teams that were sort of closer to the bottom in Seacombe, they've got a couple imports this year. Glenelg have made a couple big moves, and especially landing Yo Grauer to come to that club. There's an opportunity for teams to try to close the gap to the top. Every game's going to be so important this year.
Yeah, it's definitely anyone's season this year, and yeah, like of course, unfortunately, Yo left Port Adelaide for us, but she's definitely going to add one heck of a pitcher in that Glenelg side, and they're already a fairly solid team too.
Maddie Cameron up to bat, the cleanup spot. I mean, you think back to her year a couple years ago when she hit like 670 or something silly.
Yeah. She was hitting insane. She just could not miss the ball. She was middling everything. So she's definitely another batter in this lineup that you have to be so careful with.
Wasn't playing full time last year.
No.
But back this year, and a huge opening day inclusion, and has a chance to tie the game with a swing of the bat here.
Oof.
Hard hit over to third. And Brienne Lint, she blocked it, but a bit ginger coming up.
You know that's going to sting. Depends if it hit her straight on bone. Let's have a look.
It's actually not a bad result, to be honest.
Oh, top of the foot.
Oh, she almost caught that, too. So it's through the glove off the top of the foot, and she'll pop back up. But, I mean, the block there probably saves a run. If that rattles down the line, runner probably scores from second. Instead, it's going to be Cameron going to first. It's effectively a walk, but it is a painful one.
Yeah.
For Brienne Lint.
So they got speed on the bases. Bell would have probably scored quite comfortably if that went down the line.
Season number 2 for Brienne Lint. She played in Germany, so she'll be in good sort of mid-season form. You saw that from Liz Engler as well. She's probably as well positioned as anybody to start the season well, given they're coming off of the season.
Yeah, she's her literal comment today was the only thing she's not used to is the flies. So she's nice and comfortable, looking good, and haven't caught to her in a while, and it was nice to get behind the plate with her again.
Yeah, she was dazzling. She had 11 strikeouts in the 4-1 Port Adelaide win earlier. This is Riley Moore up to bat.
Decent pitcher in her own right.
And Moore cranks one to left field. It's going to go foul. She'll have some big shoes to fill this year. Moore playing over at first base this year. Tash Straps has been at first for the last little bit. So a bit of an adjustment. I mean, we saw that with West Torrens as well. They have a new first base woman. But wait, does Port Adelaide?
Yeah, we have McKenna.
No Georgia Burr as well?
Yeah, George is at college, so we've got McKenna, who's a friend of Bianca's, and she's come over and settled in really nicely. So
a few new folks at first base as Bell White has to scamper back. When you're fielding as well, like how important is it to have that first basewoman that you can trust when you're zipping that ball across the diamond? You played a bit of third in your time?
I love playing third, but I am a first baser at heart. You've got to be there for your team.
A big strikeout, though.
Yeah, no, you've got to be there for your team. You've got to put your body on the line sometimes, and you've got to be a big target, because let's say if you've got someone on the run making a throw, you've got to be able to either pick that out of the dirt or stretch yourself out and get that out. Millimeters in this game count.
Zolly Adams back up to bat. Swings at the first pitch. That one sky high. It will be playable, and it's dropped! A run is going to score. but just maybe lost at the last second. It was the final out of the inning, and Lint just took her eye off it at the last second. You'll take a look at the C-Max replay. In the glove and out of the glove, and that has cost them a run. So they could have had an out with Bell White on a ball hit in the air, maybe 10 feet from home plate. They couldn't make the play. And now one in and out of the glove, and this is a 2-2 game when it probably should be 2-0.
Yeah, I wonder if the wind took that one at the last minute and surprised Brie there a bit, because she seemed to be pretty settled under that.
Zolly Adams is going to go to first base, although she'll be subbed out, I think, for the pitcher role.
Possibly. I don't know if they're going to do that or if they're just going to keep maybe some movement in her legs. Or
Ashlyn Mensforth, another one of these good young juniors that has sort of broken through into that top rank for Sturt. They keep churning them out. Their junior program is successful as any other junior, well, more successful than any other junior program in the state, and they seem to have a factory of good players that break through.
I've heard some really good things about Ashlyn, so hopefully she does really well today.
Mensforth to opposite field, and it drops in front of the runner. Maddie Cameron got the wave around home. There'll be a play at the plate. It's not in time, and Cameron scores. It's 3-2 Sturt.
I was going to say they're going to be looking at what they can do to come back from this, because they were on such a high, and they've just got to sort of keep their heads and make sure that they come back fighting.
Opposite field as well on that hit, staying with it.
She stayed through that and just knocked it where she needed to.
So Bell White with an RBI, Ashlyn Mensforth with an RBI, and Sturt are making Seacombe pay for a couple early mistakes.
Yeah, we've now got Abby Kennedy, and I know she's quite strong in the box too, so it'll be interesting to see what happens here, if anyone's going to run or if they're just going to hit around.
Started with Tonkin, and Bell White got second life and slashed a ball all the way down towards the wall to score a run. Then Maddie Cameron reached on a hard hit ball. Zolly Adams on the air. Remember, we should be out of this inning. They were trying to hold serve after Diaz crushed a ball to center field to put the Tigers up 2-0.
Definitely going to be looking at that and go, okay, how can we prevent that happening again? Roars just needs to keep going in there, trust her field, and she's pitching well, so we'll see if she can continue it.
Ball up in the air again. They got to make this play. Lint moves under it. She makes the play. And that will end the inning. But a couple of costly mistakes from the Tigers field has allowed those big bats of Sturt to put the Falcons up 3-2. What a lively start to this game, Jess Maslin.
I was going to say, there's nothing, you can't predict this game of softball, so we'll see what happens from here.
We get to see the bottom of the lineup go to work. It's a bit of an awkward time, so the time change, I don't know the effect that has even just on the little hourage at this time of year, but games now starting at 3 and 5 o'clock rather than your 2 and 4. I mean, right now, if you look sort of behind us in that broadcast booth, you've got the sun setting right in the eyes of the field. Now, the sun doesn't set for a couple hours more. However, at this stage, the way that angle of the sun can be kind of painful when you're in the outfield.
Oh, not even in the outfield. Unfortunately, the sun bounces off the top of the grandstand.
Does it?
Really badly, and it reflects off really badly. If you're just looking just slightly off, you've seen, we've got, Abby's now got the glasses on if she didn't have them on last innings either, but the glasses have come out. That sun's going to be quite awkward to field around, but you'll see a lot of the players will be comfortable with it if they've played at this sort of time slot again. But yeah, unfortunately, the sun does tend to bounce off the top of the grandstand.
Brienne Lint will lead things off for the Tigers. Back for another season. Just came from a successful season in Germany. Love seeing the return imports.
Yeah, we love people who keep coming back. So obviously with the relationship that teams build with their imports, they decide that, well, are we going to bring them back or do they want to come back? And we're lucky in the sense of, like Liz Engler, she had a year off and then she's come back again. We've got Jess coming back, which is the best thing that...
yeah, reigning CAF coral medalist, that'll help.
Reigning CAF coral medalist, but also saves my knees. But she's just a massive mood booster as well. She's so much fun. And unfortunately, it brings the 3 Jesses into the one team, which can get confusing when we all play infield. But yeah, no, and I know that Brienne's made a massive impact at Seacombe last year, and she was an amazing player to play against.
Ball on the inside. Plucky at bat here for Brienne Lynch. She's got 3 balls to the count.
She definitely loves to look for her pitch and doesn't chase a lot from what I remember last year. She's quite a smart batter.
Zolly Adams, who allowed the long ball in the first inning, now has a lead to work with, and she gets her chasing. And she was close on that pitch in the first inning, but she got Lynch to bite.
Yeah, Bree wanted that one badly. She wanted to absolutely destroy that one. She's got one hell of a bat on her too, so we'll see what happens. And unfortunately, Zali throws one a little bit high.
Seems to be a theme of the day. I mean, this is the 3rd half inning we've had. We've had obviously the top and bottom of the first, but every single time the leadoff runner has got a board. I mean, Port Adelaide did that very well. The first 4 innings, the leadoff got a board for Port Adelaide in the game earlier today.
We'll take that. Yeah, can't complain. That's the whole point.
And now nice. A ball up the middle. Abby Mossman with a base hit, and it's 2 runners on with no outs.
Say nice. I got a little confused there. She's wearing Annalie's shirt. But no, that's one great hit. Straight through the center.
Mossman, I think she spent some time at Sturt as well.
I believe so. I could be wrong, but I believe so, yes.
Georgia Tompkinson and Bianca Pash, the 8-9 hitters. So a walk and a hit up the middle.
Georgia's a great little talent.
This game going back and forth already. Diaz with the home run, the 2nd home run of the day.
I was going to say, absolutely crushed, and it'd be interesting to see what happens.
The wind kind of going out, it feels like a little bit towards center left, a little bit.
There's a little bit of a breeze behind us. It's got a bit of a nip to it too.
But not much. The 2 homers today were no doubters, but I guess you can get the ball in the air on that left field jet stream a little bit, maybe you have a chance.
Some days, yeah, you can definitely feel that there's a very strong sea breeze coming in, and if you get it up, it's going to go and probably end up in the dog park.
Just got to get that launch angle right.
You just got to get it up there, yeah.
0-2 count, Georgia Tompkinson.
So say, I know she's got wheels.
In the dirt, that's a good take from Sarah Tonkin. That's tricky as a catcher sometimes to hit those ones that have a bit of sink to it, isn't it?
Yeah, like you kind of know that they're coming, and Sarah's a phenomenal catcher. She's one of the best in the league, so she'll know exactly what she needs to do in those. And
ball hit over to Belle White. White gets 1. Can they turn 2? Tompkinson hustles down the line.
I was going to say, really smart idea. Get what she can, and they've got a little bit of a buffer, but they want to obviously stop the any excess runs.
So a fielder's choice as Bianca Pash will come to the lineup. Just a fly ball or even a ground ball to the right spot or the right play could score the run.
That it can. Sometimes it doesn't have to be the really long ball to make the most damage.
It'll be tricky here when you're playing on that left side of the diamond. How do you hold a runner? What is your first thought process when this situation, runner on first, ball might get hit to someone like a Belle White or an Abby Weir over at third base? What do they do? What's their first process in holding that runner?
Sometimes it's, the classic is just obviously showing them the ball.
Ball slips away. Tonkin can't find it, but the Tigers have found the scoreboard, and we're all square once again.
That's softball for you. Unfortunately, took a bit of a hop on Sarah then.
Puts another in runner in scoring position. Right as we're talking about holding the runner at third,
Yeah.
Runner's off third. But
Runner's off third.
Walk me through that though. Like, is that something that's in your thought process when you're at third? Is it like a running checklist of like all the scenarios that can happen?
Yeah, so obviously it may not look like it, but we've got every scenario that's possible going through our heads in a way. And especially if, let's say, it was to go to shortstop or third, you obviously, a lot of people will sometimes show the ball to the runner and be in that throwing position, or it could be just something as simple as looking at the runner so they know that you're aware. I think we saw it in like the first innings. Obviously, have a look, and then trust your arm to get the out at one. If they can go, you sort of react from there.
So a runner in scoring position for Bianca Pash. A few miscues from the Tigers allowed Sturt to score 3, and now a passed ball has allowed Sturt to tie it, Seacombe to tie it back up.
Yeah, blowing out the cobwebs this first week, and should be interesting.
It's a colorful game to start.
That's softball for you. You can't predict anything. It's anyone's game on the day, and you can only go from there.
Almost as many runs in this game as the other two combined. 4-1 and 1-1, the other two scores from across the CMAX Premier League today.
It's nice to know there was no blowouts or anything, and people will get more comfortable, they'll settle in. It's obviously, as we said, first week back, and people are only going to go up from here.
Pash holds off. Another young player coming through the ranks here at Seacombe, trying to make that next step.
Yep, I was lucky enough to work with her a little bit when she was a lot younger junior, and have a pretty decent relationship still.
Well, they got through the lineup once, and only 3 outs have been made through the first 9, including a home run, a walk, a fielder's choice. So, I mean, productive when you go through the lineup, and 7 players,
yep,
6 players have reached base.
Got a bit of a timeout, just reset. Sometimes this is what you need, just bring everyone in, take a second, take a breath, and reset from there. And sometimes that can be what can help you get back into the sort of flow that you're wanting.
Bill Benedictson having a word with his catchers. He was a longtime assistant at West Torrens.
Yes.
Makes the move over to help out Annalise at Seacombe.
Yeah, Annalie and Bill was a really good combo, and the Benedictsons are sort of spreading over a few different clubs now. So we've got 3 different clubs for Benedictsons. We've got Port Adelaide, Seacombe, and West Torrens.
Yeah. All 3 going to battle for that Linda Martin Shield this season. But Annalie Dolman made her return back to South Australia and took over the helm of Seacombe last year. She played in a good number of games as well. I'm not too sure Dolman will be playing in as many this year. She's not in the lineup. She's a good player, though.
She's a good player in her own right. I remember playing her when I first came down to the city. She's no slouch herself, and I'm pretty sure last year she came for a pinch hit and hit one over.
She did.
So we never know. We might see Annalie back on the diamond. Maybe not. Oh, we got
new
this
pitcher.
Is Ruby Fidge.
Yeah, Ruby Fidge coming into the game. So the first time through the lineup, Seacombe saw Zolly's stuff pretty well. So Ruby Fidge, who was building off a tremendous season last year, Ruby Fidge.
Yeah. Fidges can definitely pitch, that's for sure.
All of them.
All of them can pitch. That's they've got a good legacy there, and whether it be softball or baseball, they can definitely make a ball move.
So Ruby Fidge in the circle. After Ollie Adams in her return to South Australia gets through the lineup once. She allows the 3 runs. 1 off a pass ball, but 1 off a 2-run home run to Regan Diaz back in the first inning.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see how Ruby comes into this game, as she's not loaded.
Sasha Mutzi was showing the butt. They tried to get the run. It's a catch and throw her out.
They got her.
Sarah Tonkin. Guns are down. Belle White brought it in. Take a look at this set play.
I was going to say, that's a nice throw from Sarah right there on the dot completely. Cannot complain with that at all.
And Belle White moving over from short and had ample time to make the play. Now it's rolled down the line. That will go foul. That's a tricky. As a catcher, how does that play work with your shortstop?
The throw?
Yeah, the throw, the catch, everything.
You've sort of just got to trust that your shortstop's going to be there, and especially like a lot of the teams in the City League have like really good runners. And I think 4 or 5 happened of those last year, and it was just we weren't ready for them. So this year at least you've got a lot more interesting movements and plays happening. So obviously Benedictson and Dolman are trying some new things, and if it doesn't work, it can always work another time. You work on it, you can build from there. But yeah, as a catcher, you sort of have to trust your shortstop's going to be there.
You saw in the C-Max replay, there was a lot of trust because it looks a little weird. Sarah Tonkin's throwing down to third and nobody is there. It's someone at short that has to move over to bring the ball in and then lay the tag down. That's a lot of trust you have to have.
Yeah, you've got to, it's probably something Sarah and Belle have done a million times before as well. So there would be...
Well, the first strikeout for Ruby Fidge coming in. So that's handy for Ruby Fidge to come in. She gets her catcher and shortstop to combine on a throw him out, and then a nice strikeout from Sasha Mutz. As we've now played 1.5 innings. It's been a long one. I mean, this game started at what? 5?
It's nearly an hour.
Yeah, 5:05. We started with a bit of a ceremony to reveal the Linda Martin Shield, and 34 minutes into the game, where luckily we got Lindy Radigan all over it.
Lindy Radigan, an icon in her own right there.
What is it, the 5:06 the start time, so it's a 90-minute timed game. So if you're watching at home, no new innings after 5:31 is when we'll be, or 6:31. We started at 5:10 officially. Look at that. Okay, so.
What would we do without you, Lindy?
So we started at 5:10 officially. So set your alarms. No new innings after 35.
So we might be in trouble if it was 5.
6:35.
No, it'll be interesting to see how Sturt come out here. It's a 3-3 game, so basically, will they come out aggressive? Will they play short ball? It's really up to them.
It'll be the second time through, and lurking in the mirror for Arrow and Munro, they've got Rachel Tonkin first, but a very important out because Sarah Tonkin, Belle White, and Maddie Cameron aren't far behind in the lineup, and they've already provided some damage in this game. Yeah. All of them with hits, all of them have scored runs, including that thundering shot from Belle White.
Yeah, the Tonkin sisters back-to-back is always a really strong 9-1, and Rachel in her own right is quite a savvy batter. She's got very good speed, and then you back it up with her sister, who is exactly the same, quite smart in the box, and also got some speed and some strength of her own.
She's been used in a couple different spots mainly throughout her career. It's either batting 2 or batting 9 for Sarah Tonkin, or Rachel Tonkin rather. She can get on base. It's a 2-1 count.
She's dangerous to have on the base paths. She's basically, I don't think there's a person in this Sturt team that you wouldn't sort of want on the base paths with their speed, so or at least their base running smarts.
Rachel Tonkin opposite field. A nice play by Becky Havis at first base. The ball took a little bit of a jump on her, and that's you're a first basewoman, Jess Maslin. That's a tricky play to make. Yeah,
you got to stay down on those. West Beach can be a little unpredictable at times, and she's stayed down nicely on that. So Becky will be quite happy to have that one in her glove, get the fielding out on her own, and got the first one of the season done.
Changes the equation with Sarah Tonkin coming to bat and nobody on base.
So Sarah will be looking for any mispitch by Aroha, and we'll go from there.
Left fielders usually be warned when Sarah Tonkin's up to bat.
That indeed.
She's started to become a bit of a mainstay on the team of the year now, Sarah Tonkin.
Yeah, she holds that catcher's position pretty strongly. If she's not there, she's usually somewhere else on the diamond. Very nice change-up from Aroha there. Unfortunately, didn't quite get called.
Crack to left field. Bianca Pash brings it in.
You can see the smile on her face. She wanted that.
Is that a little nervy one as well, being like, oh no.
Oh, it's tailing away from her, so she's had to like really lean out for that one. So she'd be quite happy with that one. She's a very animated player and a lot of energy right there.
And just having to reach away on the backhand, she tracked that perfectly. And now Abby Weir up to bat. She tips that away. Another one of these younger players that has busted through onto this side, and you can see the trust that the Falcons have on her, that they've put her number 2 in the lineup.
She's clearly got really good hands. She's following Sarah and in front of Belle, so you know she's very well trusted. Nice pitch there from Aroha.
Munro getting in the good count 0-2. I mean, having Belle White come up to bat with nobody on would be huge to start an inning. That's what's at stake, trying to get this last out here.
Yeah, sometimes the last out's the hardest out to get as well. So you could have 1-2 go down pretty quickly, but then you never know, you could have a whole lot of things happen. And I think that's mainly what happened with Seacombe there. We had a little bit of a fumble or a little bit of a misfield, and all of a sudden things blow open.
Looking for the 1-2-3 inning. 0-2 count. Good job from Abby Weir just to stay alive.
She's staying strong in there. She's looking for a pitch, and you never know what can happen.
Seen a long ball already this game. Pitch just hogged on the outside. That's a hard one to stay off.
That is indeed something hard to stay off. Adaha loves to make you chase a bit, and I loved catching to her for ages because it was a bit of a fun game there.
1-2 count. Skied up in the air, charging on is Regan Diaz, and she makes the play to end the inning. It's a 1-2-3 effort from Era Munro, and it keeps the Sturt Falcons bats at bay. We've played 2, and we're all tied up at 3. Here's a look at this C-Max replay.
She had eyes for that ball and nothing else there. Good call out there. Right field could have easily got that as well, but Regan came over quite comfortably.
Well, good opportunity now with the 2, 3, 4 batters coming up. Vigera, Havis, and Diaz. It's going to be the same for both teams with sort of that middle of the lineup getting an opportunity here in the 3rd. This could be that pivotal point in the game. Like, the game could be decided in the 3rd inning.
It could be. You can't ever say when things are going to happen, but Rosa will be looking to, come up nice and strong, and we're going to see 2 very good power hitters in Becky and Regan.
Ruby Fidge will start her first full inning of work. She came in when Sasha Mutzi was coming up to bat. She got 2 for 1. She got she had a nice little handy connection between Sarah Tonkin and Belle White to get out number 1. And then she struck out Mutzi to end the inning. So 2 outs with just that 1 at bat. And now it's Rosa Vigera who will lead things off for the Tigers.
As I say, the Seacombe, a lot of the Seacombe girls have probably seen Ruby, but probably not enough to sort of be able to go, okay, I feel comfortable, because you can never feel comfortable against a pitcher.
Vigera fouls one away, but quickly behind 0-2.
Ruby would be nicely settling in, and she'll be coming in to the start of the innings, feeling a little bit more relaxed, hopefully, and come in and do her job.
I think that was the pitch she wanted, but just outside.
It's a nice pitch, and it's interesting to see how each team are attacking their first round games.
Swing and a miss. Had that late break on that ball, and it's the 2nd strikeout for Ruby Fidge.
It's a beautiful pitch. Brings up a can't slack at all. Becky's up, and she'll be looking to get the ball in play and be ready for Regan to move around.
Havis grounded out to shortstop. It was a hard hit ball that Belle White just made a really nice play to stay in front of the ball. But yeah, Havis hit the ball hard.
She certainly did. She hit that really solidly.
And she'll hit this one hard too, but it's rolled over to 2nd. Rachel Tonkin makes the play, and 2 up, 2 down.
So she tried shortstop. She's now trying 2nd base, and fortunately for Becky, she's getting really good contact, just unfortunately straight to players.
In the 1st inning, Regan Diaz had the moment of the game, a 2-run home run that put Seacombe for the time being up 2-0. Sturt responded with 3 off a couple defensive miscues.
It'd be interesting to
And
see
then
how.
Seacombe, they respond again.
It'd be interesting to see how Ruby goes about pitching to Reagan, because obviously we've never seen Reagan. We know she can hit, that's for sure. But it'll be interesting.
Yeah, that first home run was off of Zolly Adams. Diaz coming to us from South Australia, from Santa Clara University.
She's a psychology major, so she can probably work her way around as well.
Mainly a pitcher, though, from what we hear, although that bat has just sent warning shots across the competition.
Yes, it'll be interesting to see if and when she takes the mound, she might do share the duties with Araha. But
Well, you got to wonder, could it be even this game, knowing that you're going to have to work through a lineup probably 3 times? Is it after the second time through, do you start to make a play?
I guess it really depends on how the players are seeing you as a pitcher. If they're seeing you, yeah, you might make that change, or they might decide to keep her hidden a little bit to see if they can just keep her as at the moment she's playing centre field, but keep her as a centre fielder for the moment and then use her when needed.
Well, Diaz, a very patient at bat, certainly warranted as well. Ruby Fitch had to pitch her very carefully, and the reward will be a base on balls, but at least you don't let her hurt you with the bat.
No, interesting to see what happens with her on the base path.
See her try to go to work. Here's Arrow Munro up to bat. She flew out to right field in her first at bat.
Yep, Araha herself has got quite a good bat on her.
That ball slips away. It's going to be a runner in scoring position. It could be a runner at third. There'll be a play at the corner. She's out.
Oh,
Belle White, the second time today. Repeat of earlier message. Belle White dazzles again.
Sarah and Belle are such a good combination, and Reagan will be a little annoyed, but we'll see. It was definitely a very nicely executed play. Sarah unfortunately lost it, but luckily her third baser was able to help her out. I thought Sarah threw it, but it's actually Abby.
There's the C-Max replay, and Belle White has to catch the ball, turn, and tag. You see it in slow-mo on the C-Max replay.
Oh, did she get her?
Ooh. Did she get in under that tag?
I don't know if she actually tagged her then.
Interesting from that angle.
Ooh.
I think the other one was telling.
I was going to say, from that one we can't really tell, but the other one I don't know if she actually got her, unless she got her on the way through. Ooh.
It's tough to tell. It kind of looks it from that angle that Diaz missed it. I love that shot, though, because you have the reaction from Diaz over at third and the reaction from Belle, both of them adamant that they made the play. In the scorebook, it's going down as Belle White tagging her out at third. It's the second time White has done that today. So you want to talk about an impact player. Belle White has an RBI to get Sturt into the game. She's tagged out 2 players at second and made a nice defensive play at short.
So we go from her making the play at third, and now she's seeing if she can make her impact here with the bat.
She may have just retired from international softball, but she is certainly still very large and looming here in the C-Max Premier League.
She's one hell of a player.
Offers at this pitch, it goes foul.
I was going to say, when you think of impactful players in the C-Max Premier League, Belle is definitely top of that list, if not definitely up that list.
Lays off the pitch. Munro has to be careful here. Maddie Cameron standing right behind her. This is that 1-2 punch in the middle of the lineup that's been a pain in the rear end for oppositions from Sturt all year.
They are one hell of a batting lineup, Sturt, and they definitely make you pay when something goes wrong.
Pitch on the outside. Yeah, nothing middle here from Munro.
No, especially Belle hit a nice double last time, so Araha will be being careful and trying to make her maybe chase, but we'll see. So 3 and full count. Just going to come back and challenge Belle. And Belle's going to be looking for that pitch to drive.
White just missed. That was the one she wanted.
The look on her face was, damn, I've missed that one. But she'll come back and she'll hopefully pummel it, maybe. If you're a Tigers fan, you'd hopefully she doesn't, but Bell's one of those players.
It's a walk for Bell White. A good at bat, fell behind early, stayed with it, fouled a few away. And the leadoff runner is aboard for the Sturt Falcons here in the bottom of the third.
Doesn't get any easier now, and Maddie Cameron coming up. Another, as we were talking before, a very good batter and a very smart batter.
Swings at the first pitch. She does that a lot, Maddie Cameron. If she sees, she doesn't waste any time. If she sees something she likes.
Yeah, she likes it, she goes for it, and it's such an interesting way of having to work with around Maddie as you're a player, and whether it be you're catching or pitching, you've got to be so smart because she can absolutely fire so fast.
Cameron fires one over to the left side. A good job to cut off the play by Mutzi, but Bell White gets that foot on the bag first, and sort of similar to her first at-bat, Maddie Cameron.
Yeah, it doesn't have
hit
to
towards
be,
the infield, and she's aboard.
It doesn't have to be straight to the fence to still make an impact, and it's a nice solid one. And Sasha made the choice to try to get Bell at second, which I mean, she had the opportunity to, so why not?
Riley Moore, first pitch cut.
Bell was off then.
Yeah, this is a dangerous position for the Tigers, who have held serve so far in this game.
So Sturt will want to come out nice and hard and hopefully put a few more on the board.
Strike throw, can they get a play of their own down third? That slips away. Bell White is gonna score. And it is a 4-3 game, now a wild throw, and Maddie Cameron all of a sudden is at third. So a couple of errant throws from the Tigers, and Sturt takes the lead and puts a runner at third.
So they tried on the same thing that Seacombe did to them, the steal to third. I think it was more of a delayed steal, and unfortunately didn't quite get the hand on the glove, and that ball on, wow, ball in the glove.
Certainly something that Bell White does very well. James Harris talked about this at length in the first broadcast, how Bell White, as you see on the C-Max replay, that ball slips away. She makes you make a play. So there she's taking on the defense. She's challenging Seacombe and saying, hey, I'm going to go. You've got to make a great throw and a great tag to get me. Let's see if you can do it. If you can do it, fair play. And if you can't, well, I'm either going to be standing on third or I've scored a run.
Yeah, she definitely makes you think, and she makes you react. And it's one of the things that make her such an amazing player.
Riley Moore knocks one into foul territory.
All Riley might be looking for is just get one nice and deep to the outfield, and Maddie's got some good wheels on her, so she'll looking for that sack fly.
I have a feeling that Bell White is going to earn a few votes in this game.
She probably will, yes. Smoke on Raw's face then, as she kind of wanted that one to be called, but yeah. Riley's making her work for it.
Knocked high in the air. Calling off to make the play. Breland brings it in. They've had a couple close calls. There was a moment earlier in the game where one fell out of her glove, but that time no mistake, so it's one down.
No, she looked nice and solid under that and called out everyone really early.
Here's the reaction on the C-Max replay.
Ooh, I've tailed on her at the last little second there.
Sigh of relief.
I don't know how looking to sigh of relief.
Ruby Fidge to right field, and it drops in front of Georgia Tompkinson. Maddie Cameron will score with ease, and Ruby Fidge knocks in a run. It's 2 for the Falcons in the third, and they have a 2-run advantage.
I was going to say, it's small little things, and Ruby made nice contact there, and I wonder if it just dipped on Georgia quicker than she expected.
Maddie was ready to go on the C-Max replay. Well, Belle White and Maddie Cameron have now scored 4 of Sturt's 5 runs in this game. And that duo in the middle of the lineup has been terrorizing opposing pitchers for years, and that hasn't changed in game 1 of the new season.
No.
Bunt laid down from men's fourth. Throw across the diamond. That was nice. They get 1.
Move her across. And so Lee would like that. He always loved a good bunt.
There's a nice play, though, from Lint to come and make the play across the diamond. Abby Kennedy up to bat. And it was 3 runs that they scored in the first, Sturt, and that was in response to the 2-run home run that Regan Diaz sent over the fence. A couple of errors in the field, and then Tonkin, White, Cameron really made them pay in the first. They've done it again here in the third. A walk to White, Cameron with a hit. A couple throwing errors scored White. Maddie Cameron gets knocked in by Ruby Fidge. And all of a sudden, it is a 2-run advantage for Sturt as we've reached almost the hour point of this game.
I think it's Claire Warburton on second there. Coming as a pinch runner.
Kennedy blasts one through the outfield, and it gets by the right fielder. It rattles up against the wall. 1 run is scored. She's making a play for third. She's gonna get held up, but it's a triple for Kennedy.
Nice solid hit. She got there standing comfortably too. So Claire didn't have to be out there for very long as the runner, but she got to come in quite comfortably.
Bottom of the lineup is turning the screws on now. RBIs to Adams, men's fourth. Now Kennedy, that triple just slipped by Tompkinson. And it is a 6-3 lead.
Does not get any easier with this lineup, as we've said multiple times.
Game happens fast, doesn't it?
Yep, that's
Tonkin swings at a pitch up high.
That soccer for you can change in an instant. One hit can change the entire game, or one play can do a lot as well. And I think we've seen today small things making big impacts.
Pitch on the inside. Yeah, Monroe not getting the help that she would probably like from the defense today.
It's one of those things, like, we are all obviously blowing at a few cobwebs. First actual game on the diamond.
Now a knock up the middle is going to make it 7-3. Rachel Tonkin stays with it and powers in Kennedy. So it's some key contributions from the bottom of the lineup now. Fidge, Mensforth, Kennedy, and Tonkin all helping to factor in to drive in some runs.
Yeah, making them pay.
Top to bottom approach here.
They can definitely bat through a lineup, Sturt.
Well, they've now had 9 different players reach. Riley Moore is 0 for 2 in the game, but Zolly Adams reached, and then Ruby Fidge reached. So they've used 10 batters in this game, and 9 of them have got on base.
I was going to say, you can't complain much with that.
Back to the top of the lineup with Sarah Tonkin.
Sarah will be hunting her pitch, and she'll go quite strongly at it. You can't. Sarah's another batter. She's so strong and so smart in the box. You're pitching to her, it can be quite difficult.
Tonkin cracks one to left field. Pash has to take a step back, and it's going to drop over her head. It'll cash in her sister, Rachel, as Sarah Tonkin aboard with a double. It's a 5-run inning for Sturt.
So say Bianca had tracked back on that, but I think it took off more than she expected.
Now Abby Weir will come up to bat. They're going to make a change, I think. This will be the 9th batter in the lineup.
I think it took off on Bianca there, and it'll be interesting to see if, you know, Annalie can bring her team down, keep them relaxed. We saw the same thing happen with Sturt, and Annalie would just be going, okay, let's reset, let's have a look at what we can do here, and hopefully get out of this one. So everyone in the lineup would have had an at-bat this innings, so we will see how this goes, I guess.
Well, Maddie Cameron, who was out there coaching first base, just had to make this swap with Zolly Adams because Cameron's just a couple batters away if Abby Weir and Belle White can do some damage. This is critical right now for the Tigers to retire this batter, Abby Weir. She swings at the first pitch. It goes to short. It's well played. Throw across the diamond. Mutse to Havis. They make the play. It'll end the threat. But White, Cameron, Adams, Kennedy, and Ruby Fidge, not Zolly Adams. Kennedy and Tonkin score a 5-run inning for the Sturt Falcons.
Seacombe will be looking to maybe have a 5-run inning of their own.
Yeah, and they're going to have to get a hurry on it. There's about half an hour left in the game. No new innings in another 23 minutes or so from now. So time is of the essence. They'll have to peg back a couple, you'd think, in this inning.
They definitely will be looking for it. Where I believe Adaha's up, so she'll be looking to make an impact on after the play at third.
Now this bottom part of the lineup did threaten back in the second. Lint, Mossman, Tompkinson, and Pash, they actually all reached base. But then a strikeout, a runner caught at third base. Seacombe's been tagged out at third 3 times. They've made a couple defensive miscues. Their game probably a bit closer than what the scoreline suggests right now. Just a couple of those small moments have had big impacts in the game, like you said.
Yeah, Seacombe will look back on certain things in this game and be like, okay, where can we improve from there? But you've got to start somewhere in week 1, and they're definitely not shaming themselves.
Well, the game, long way from being over. Munro up to bat. She'll watch the first pitch just dip a little bit off to her right. 1 ball. Can Munro get on base? They've had the leadoff runner aboard a couple times today. Base runners in each of them. DS actually gave them a nice 2-0 lead. Sturt responded with 3. Seacombe leveled it in the second, but it's that huge 5-run bottom of the third from Sturt. That's the difference right now. Munro drives one to the outfield, and it's a base hit for Era Munro.
Adaha would be quite happy with that. They would seem to be playing a bit of a shift on her then.
That one just cut a little bit in front of Mensforth.
So Brienne's up now.
Can Bree Lint start to string together a couple hits for Seacombe? They don't need all in this inning, but a little bit would go a long way to get the Tigers back in the contest.
Bree will be looking to score her ideally, but move her over at least for a start. Oof. Some nice pitch there.
That outside hasn't been called the whole game, so it's consistent.
That West Beach wind is picked up a bit now as well, so it'll be get cooler again, and you might see it come into impact.
Ruby has the ball, sail a little bit wide, so it's a 3-0 count.
See how she comes back here. best she can do is come back and
Look for that strike,
look
put
for
it
that
over the plate.
strike, put it over the plate, whether it be you put it away from the player or whatever. Coming back with that strike is always what you want to happen.
This one fouled straight back, Breland.
And just like that, full count.
It was looking a bit nerve-wracking for Ruby Fidge.
So Bree walked last time, I believe on a full count as well, so it'll be interesting to see what happens here.
Repeat of earlier message.
Repeat of earlier. Bree being very smart in the box there.
Well, no outs, runners on first and second. This is exactly how this Sturt inning started when they scored 5 runs. Now Seacombe trying to do the same thing. Abby Mossman up to bat. She's already got a hit to center field today.
And she had a beautiful hit up the middle and see if she can replicate it.
Still showing bunt. She lays off on it. A 1-0 count.
Yeah, I'm looking at how the field are reacting to her putting a bunt down.
Fidge starting to fall behind in counts.
Yeah, I'm wondering if she's thinking about how she's going to attack the players and maybe guarding it a little bit, but she's a good pitcher in her own right. There she goes, comes back nice and strong.
It's just the 2-3 batters that haven't reached today for Seacombe. So the lineup looking fairly balanced right now. Trying to respond to a 5-run number that Sturt just put up. The game starting to run out of time. It'll be around the 6:35 mark locally. It's 6:17 right now that no new innings will be allowed. So you figure 1 bat chance here and 1 more later on.
See how they respond to it. Hopefully they keep fighting, and the scoreline doesn't demonstrate of the game itself. So yes, it's 8-3, but it could have been a lot closer. It could have been a lot more.
Mossman down the line, and it's a nice trap. They get the runner at third. Can they get 2? She's safe.
Oh, she's safe.
But how about the trap over at third from Abby Weir?
That could have been dangerous if they got past her.
Wow. Backhanded play, step on the bag.
Smart work to go over the base and come through and try to get that play at first as well.
Easy force out. Georgia Tompkinson reached on a fielder's choice. Swings at the first pitch. The Sturt defense has been impressive today. A couple throw them outs, a nice plays at short, a nice play at third.
They definitely, Sturt are living up to their previous years. They're a very, very strong fielding team, and they make you work for everything.
Looking very sharp right now. Pitch down low. If they can get Tompkinson and Pash and get through to the top of the lineup with some runners on and already some numbers on the board, this is the best path forward for the Tigers. Big hack from Tompkinson.
Nice swing there. She's a good little junior player, and heard nothing but good things about her even when before I moved from Seacombe, but she's a great little player.
Moved way up on the bat, so she's going to shorten that swing. You can see that hand grip move up almost just right on the barrel.
Yeah, she's shortening up, just wants to punch it in play, and sometimes punching in play is all you need. She's got great wheels as well, so.
Well, that's exactly what the plan of attack was just trying to poke it somewhere. Goes foul.
Yeah, a lot of players will either shorten up, or maybe not as severely as she is, but a lot of players will shorten up and just punch it in play.
Just a teenager, Georgia Tompkinson.
Rise. It's not a lot on the outside today, but full count. We'll see what happens here.
It's been a few full counts this inning. Tompkinson slashes one down the line. It just is foul. Sort of minute margins today for the Tigers.
And she's keeping it eventful in there. She's fighting for it. So she's making Ruby work. Trying to keep Seacombe in the game here.
Still only one out. Up the middle, and it just gets through Tonkin. Runner getting the wave around home, and Tompkinson has driven in a run. And how about the reaction at first base from Georgia Tompkinson?
Yes, you did that, Georgia.
It'll be an RBI for Tompkinson. It just got under the reach of Tonkin, and you can see on the C-Max replay, Tompkinson up the middle, and her reaction at first was priceless.
So taking on Benedictson pushing through Bree, and it's not an easy arm to take on with Maddie Cameron at center field.
She gave like the rock and roll Shaka's symbol to the crowd. So a lengthy at bat, a couple pitches at the full count.
Yeah.
And just that runner tagged out at third here. So again, all four of the first batters for the Tigers this inning have reached. They've now got within striking distance again of Sturt. It is 8-4. They need another base hit to keep them in contention. Pash under it a little bit. That goes foul.
Pashas may even decide to do the same sort of thing as Georgia, maybe shorten up and punch it in play, because it seems to be very effective for Seacombe today.
Runner in scoring position is Mossman. Just stayed alive, tipped that one foul, but we're up to 2 strikes.
Just got her bat to that one.
Big effort from Seacombe. They led 2-0. Then they were down 3-2, tied it at 3. Sturt puts up 8. Seacombe instantly responds. They've had some runs taken off the board by some sublime plays from Belle White. Pitch on the outside, same call as it's been all there. Just a little bit outside.
It's this nice pitch. It's one of those pitches that could be 50-50, depending on the day as well.
That was Ruby Fidge's reaction as well. She came in after Zolly Adams went once through the order, allowed 3 runs. Same exact spot.
That sucks. Like, it's a beautiful pitch, and it's just not today.
And for the 4th straight batter, maybe? Full count?
Yeah, I think so. It's like 3rd or 4th, I'd say.
I mean, a lot of pitches this inning so far for Ruby Fidge.
They're making Ruby work here.
Bottom of the lineup, putting him to work. It goes off the glove of Ruby Fidge, and it's going to load the bases. So the tying run is going to come to the plate.
I was going to say, that's softball for you. Anything can happen, and sometimes it just pops the wrong way out of your glove, and what can you do?
Well, they have 1 out. Bases are loaded. Mutze and Vigera up to bat. If just one of them can
Looks like
find
Ollie's
a
coming
hit,
in.
Becky Havis is going to have a huge opportunity, and there's going to be a pitching change.
Oh, is this Ollie Duro? I believe Olivia, quite a good pitcher as well. Good up-and-coming junior, and as you said before, Sturt's junior program are really strong, and I've seen Olivia pitch once, I believe. I've never faced her. I believe she pitched last year in Premier League. I could be wrong. I've definitely seen her pitch B grade countless times, but I think she may have had a start in Premier League.
So the 3rd pitcher that the Falcons are going to use. This is a good test of that junior strength coming through the lineup for the Falcons. Can they close the door shut? They haven't let any of their pitchers go through the lineup twice. That's when they pulled the plug on Adams after her 9, and then they pulled the plug now on Ruby Fidge. So that's clearly the strategy sort of set in play. I know it is bases loaded, but strategy would clearly suggest.
I believe it was the exact same batter as well. I believe Sasha's had all the changes on her.
So Olivia Durham.
We'll see how Sasha goes facing her third pitcher of the day.
A pressure moment for the young Durham in the game. Bases are loaded. Mutza, the leadoff hitter, she's got a hit. She struck out.
She's got some nice pop on her pitches.
This is the third different pitcher that she's faced. Sturt flexing their pitching stocks early, but this a big moment. Skied up in the air, 2 strikes on Sasha. And it's a long inning in terms of time.
It is, yes.
This game started about 10 minutes later. There was a pregame ceremony for the unveiling of the Linda Martin Shield. That's what this Premier League competition will be fighting for. And then a moment of silence for Lee Hull. And now bases are loaded. Swing and a miss and a strikeout for Durham, and that is huge with bases loaded.
Yeah, massive comeback there, and Olivia will be quite happy with that.
Now Rosa Vergara, a base hit puts Seacombe right back in this game.
I was going to say they want to get out of this with the least amount of impact that they can, and
well,
Rosa will just hoping to get one in play.
If Vergara can keep this inning alive, drive in 1 or 2, it sets it up to have Havas and Diaz with a couple opportunities to really surge Seacombe ahead.
I was going to say big bats coming through the lineup now, and we'll see how we go.
Big moment for Vergara. And Durham just coming in and throwing some darts in there for strikes.
She's coming in real confident, coming in really strong, and showing why she's pitching in the A's.
Swing and a miss. 2 strikeouts. Ollie, ollie, ollie. Oi, oi, oi. It's 2 strikeouts with the bases loaded to help slam the door shut on Seacombe.
They would have loved to get out of that in no other way but that one.
See it on the C-Max replay. It just cuts down low. And now it gets interesting here as we go to the bottom of the 4th. If Sturt can just kind of fight the clock for 7 minutes, have a couple long at-bats, a couple base hitters, there might not be anything that the Seacombe Tigers can do. It's been a plucky effort for them, though.
That's the fun time of playing time games. Sometimes the clock can beat you.
Meanwhile, Sturt haven't shown their pitcher more than once to anyone in the lineup. This will be Munro's 4th time, or she's working her way through her 3rd time through right now, sorry.
Yeah, 3rd time. Aroha's a resilient pitcher. She will just absolutely chug along for your team and will do what you need her to do.
In the last inning, everybody came up to bat for Sturt. They scored 5 runs, but it's been a top-to-bottom effort from the Falcons so far. We've scored 8.
Leading off with Bell, massive part of their lineup as well.
First pitch strike. Belle White has an RBI. She has a walk. She's scored twice. She's tagged 2 runners out at 3rd. She's made a nice play at short. She's pretty much been Belle White.
Bell's done what Belle White does. She's made her impact known.
Munro just nibbling the outside.
See what happens right now. Aroha will be wanting to come back and be smart pitching to Bell, but also coming back and getting another strike on her.
Now she saw a pitch she liked and was chomping.
She's barely missing those.
Swing and a miss. She goes upstairs Bell White swings through it, but what a pitch from Munro.
Nice little rise ball there, and Bell just got underneath it.
That is lethal.
The look on Bell's face.
She just missed it too. That ball was just a touch lower. It was sent out there. It had that little extra bit of kick at the end of it though. Maddie Cameron, first pitch swing. It's up in the air. It's going to drift a little bit foul.
So Maddie was looking for a pitch to absolutely drive out there, and today it's just missing certain ones.
Well, by our count, they have 4 minutes to get these 2 outs. Otherwise, Seacombe are in a little bit of trouble against the clock.
Not only are they playing Sturt, they're playing the clock at this stage.
Yeah, it gets tricky.
It's always an interesting point when you know the time's running low and how do you play, and sometimes it can put that little bit of pressure on as well. Nice pitch there.
Couple strikes on Maddie Cameron.
Was that outside corner finally got one?
Just maybe moved it in a little bit, but you're right. They've been targeting that outside corner. Not too many calls on that direction. So,
No.
Cameron.
All 4 pitches have been attacking that corner, and it's not quite been there today.
Cameron in the air, over towards second, and it goes off the glove and kicks out.
Oh no, it's got away.
It's happened a couple times today. Cameron is wheeling around 2. She's going to get to third easily. So Cameron looked out instead. She's on third. It's going to eat time and put another runner in scoring position, and Cameron got away with one there.
Wondering if there was a bit of a miscommunication there between Rosa and Becky.
And no one really wanted it until the last second. And the Tigers are in a bit of trouble. Just a few minutes to work against too. Knocked over towards third. What a nice play across the diamond. Just got her out.
Got her out. Lovely play there by Bree. Kind of fell onto Maddie.
Yeah, it's lucky Maddie Cameron wasn't off the bag too much there. They got a couple minutes to get this last out to give themselves one more crack at it.
It's a beautiful pickup by Becky there. Is this the lifeline that Seacombe needed?
Molly Durham.
We know what she can do in the circle, what she can do with the bat.
She had a huge moment. She came in with the bases loaded and 1 out. And she goes strikeout, strikeout to the 2 Tigers at the top of the lineup to keep this a 4-run game. That is a huge moment in this contest.
It's gone up. It's coming our way.
And now a base hit might just end the game.
It depends depends what the umpire's got on their time as well. We're getting very much down to the wire here. Just up there.
They need this out. Down in the dirt, and now we're in that sort of 60-second warning. If they don't get this out quick, Tigers in trouble.
Tigers are playing their clock a bit here.
And this woman in the batter's box right now has a lot to do it. Those 2 huge strikeouts with bases loaded. Some good signs from the Tigers today, but just a couple little miscues have loomed large, and that has been punishing. Diaz did have that home run. They've shown great fight back every time they've gone down, but Sturt using that 5-run third.
Yeah, Seacombe never said die today, and they've kept fighting back. They've made Falcons work as well.
Well, a big strikeout for Munro.
Did they get it in time?
We're going to find out right now. What do the umpires say? Do we have some more? It's time of game.
Time and game.
Time of game, and I think it was just in by probably 10 or 15 seconds, to be totally honest.
Seconds
but
in that.
Sturt are going to come away winners in this one, 8-4.
Yeah, one hell of a game there, and unfortunately some minor things happening, and unfortunately cost Seacombe what could have been a lot closer game.
And a few pretty good CMAX replays in this game. It started off in the first when it was Diaz that sent a bomb to center field. She made that a 2-0 game right off the bat.
Right, welcome to the Adelaide competition, Reagan, and I think the smiling team says it all. That was a really, really good hit and absolutely smoked.
Yeah, pitcher be warned. Regan Diaz can swing the stick. We'll see how she goes the rest of the season as well. So that put them up 2-0, but it was an instant response. Belle White, who had a ball almost caught earlier from Seacombe, they gave her second life. She made them pay. She got Sturt on the board. This was back in the first inning to issue that response. That was an RBI, and then they kept adding a little bit more. You can see the miscue right here. Should have been the third out. It wasn't. It dropped down. It scored a run. And just like that, it went from 2-0 to 3-2 to Sturt to start this game, just taking advantage of mistakes.
Yeah, little things happening. Fortunately, things popping out of people's gloves. And I think from there it sort of showed what's to come.
Meanwhile, there was a couple really nice defensive plays,
Beautiful.
including this one, Tonkin to White. So they added some damage with the bat. They took it away in the field. Well, Pash made a nice little play in the outfield.
Yes.
Seacombe did respond, though. They're down 3-2. They got back right away. It was on a pass ball, but then bam, Belle White, her second play at third again. That was when it was 3-3. That ended the threat. And then it was a 5-run inning. Again, a couple miscues, but some big bats of Belle White, who was probably the player of the game for my book. She was brilliant in this game in the field, big with the bat. And this was all part of that big 5-run inning to make it 8-3. Now, I mean, another way, when Ollie Durham came in with bases loaded, she had a big chance. Seacombe had a big chance to have a couple hits, and Seacombe are close. They're right there. You can see it.
They're definitely knocking on the door. Ollie came in what can be a really tough situation and showed that there was no pressure on her. She came in through really well and got some good K2s. That'll
do it for us on day one of the CMAX Premier League, a double header of action, finishing Port Adelaide and Sturt the winners today. Jess Maslin, thank you so much for pinch hitting in the second part of this game. We loved having you on the broadcast. We're going to have you again on the broadcast this season, and a big thanks to Spacequake Sports and everybody for getting the show on the road again.
No, thank you very much.